Thank you, Amitai. Right. We definitely had really interesting sessions earlier. So let me begin with this question first to all of you. Do you really think you have an agile team just because you know agile and you're following it? I'll let that up to you guys to think for a while. But let's say most people think they have an agile team just because they have all the knowledge that agile provides, values, principles, and they're following one of the frameworks, either Scrum or Kanban, and yes, they have an agile team. So following agile by book or any theoretical knowledge and experiencing it completely different in a real life is something that we hear from a lot of people, and it's a very common experience that we get to hear. Hello, everyone. I'm Bishal Vaidya. Thank you, Amitai, for the short, quick intro. I'm here from Kathmandu. I'm a senior product manager at Claros. It's been over 9+ years now that I have been in the software development industry, and with all the experience in healthcare, fintech, edtech, few of the contract-basis projects, I have been able to gather these experience, knowledge, and also grab that opportunity to experience in really established companies, startups, where I have been able to gather these information regarding how challenging it is actually to introduce Agile in different teams, companies, and organizations. I have a similar first slide that most of our speakers have already shared, but definitely this is one strong point where we need to really focus, that is Agile mindset. So what actually is Agile mindset? Definitely it can be defined with its values, its principles, and manifested through its unlimited practices, processes that we follow. But it depends upon one single individual, how he understands all these values, all these principles, and reflect in their daily work. How he responds to it, how he reacts to all the team members in the daily life when he's actually coordinating and collaborating with the team members. So it enables your flexibility, collaborative, and also makes you very adaptable to whatever changes that needs to come within the team. What you do, how you respond, reflects what you know and how you think, and what you think. So meaning, let's say I know Agile, right? And I've known all these theoretical aspects, but when it comes to your daily practice, no matter how many times I say, like, you know, I have been introduced to Agile this many years, I have been practicing, but until and unless you have this mindset of having an Agile mindset, it's very difficult to coordinate and collaborate within the team members in that very particular project or process. Now, let's talk about the actual challenges that we face or that's faced during introducing Agile to an un-Agile place. So be it like there might be a company running from like ages, following various kind of processes. There might be a startup company where they want to actually introduce Agile methodology or bring some process, align all the team members so that they can actually work on those projects. So first thing I would like to talk about is I know Agile misconception mindset. So let's say I have been practicing Agile, and I know what Agile is. I know its principles. I know its values. Doesn't mean that I actually have that mindset. I actually am really, really like educated. So lack of education, lack of that training in the Agile education really misleads the team there. Inconsistent processes and practices followed. So there are lots of processes, lots of practices that team follows, and definitely each teams have their own processes and practices that follow. Let's say over here we have gathered every one of us here, and when we speak, what do you do in your company? What do you do in your company? We all have different opinions. We all have different practices that we follow. So just because like I'm taking a lead here, and just because of that nature that I have, like, okay, I know Agile, and I need to introduce something in my team, within my company, and I just go there and say, like I want to, like, modify a process there and introduce a completely different process or modify some tweaks there. You have no clue where it might lead to. Because, like, I have consulted like this process from one of my friend, maybe, right? And just because, oh, this might fit in our industry, this might fit in our organization, doesn't assures you that you will succeed and you will prosper and flourish with that process in your particular organization. There's a huge difference between knowing Agile and doing Agile. It's all about the mindset that you have set. Collaborating with leaders reluctant to adopt agility. So how many of you are here in this hall right now in C-level positions, managers, leads in your organization? All right. So this situation is faced not just by leaders, by like maybe a senior developer, by a junior developer, by project managers, product managers, and even the C-level managers. So let's say you want to bring some change, good change. You want to modify, optimize the process. You want to bring some, you have listened to your developers, you have listened to your team members, and you have brought some ideas. And you go to your management team and you put your proposals there that you want to bring these changes there. Now, first concern from your management team would be like, we already have a process. We already are following, like, good process maybe. Why do you want to change? So that's the first hurdle you might want to answer to your management team. Now, the next thing is, let's say this company, this team is already delivering their work, is already maybe delivering and providing service through the application, web apps to the customers, and they are already generating a good number of clients conversion there, as well as ROIs, and they have a good financial stats on the through that product as well. Now, another question there arises is, if we are already making good money there, if we are already converting good clients there, why do you want to change, right? But the core part here is there's a gap between the core team and what the management might think there. The optimization, the agility where we want to bring in is from small parts, like a developer from the point where he gets a task to the delivery point, how a testing process is done. So we might want to bring those changes. So what kind of hurdles we might face is, if we are already getting all our tasks done, let's not focus in that. Let's focus in our milestones. Let's focus in our targets that we need to deliver within this time or that time. That's another hurdle that we might face. Reluctant to change or even hear ideas. So few teams, few companies, few organizations, what we get to hear or what we face is, let's say, we're open to your ideas. Please bring in your ideas. We can listen to it. And then definitely we make sure that we'll hear you out and bring those changes. So this is one exciting moment for all the team members, right? So when you start putting your ideas, so what kind of, let's say, transition we might see there? If there is something that's related to delivering your deliveries or any kind of task that you're working on or has immediate conversions, so that might pull a little bit attraction from the management team, from the leaders, right? But if there is something that has got nothing to do with revenues, that has got nothing to do with, let's say, bringing any changes in the team, but has just focused on teams, their happiness, their team member bonding, like, let's say, collaborative within the team, that's something like, oh, we'll take care of it, we'll have it in our backlog, something like that, and we'll look into the future. So why change when old methodologies and practices already gives you a good revenue? So that's a very, very big question and becomes a challenging part when you are actually trying to propose to your management team, your leaders, and this is one kind of hurdle that you will have to face it and overcome it. Setting up wrong expectations from Agile. So we all know that by now so many definitions of Agile, right? But does it anywhere say that, oh, it's going to give you $1 million idea, so you need to follow Agile? Or does it say that Agile addresses each and every uh, problems or any issues that you have within your team and solves it, right? So when you are having this agile journey within a team, these expectations needs to be very, very clear and portrayed clearly to all the management team, through your core team, development team, all the stakeholders, what you can expect through agile. So there's definitely different dynamics of expectations. Let's say these days, organizations, companies, what they are doing is a very good startup that is organizing and engaging and grooming their team members towards agile, giving them chances to for training sessions and all these. So we have agile coach who are training them like with 10 years experience, 20 years experience, more than 20 years experience, what they gained giving them session in 2 days or 3 days, right? So how can a company expect these guys who just got training within a 2 days, 3 days session to bring that change within a week, within a month, right? So these companies, these organizations should start taking this aspect in such a way that how about bringing the coach also along with the team where they can supervise, mentor their own team members as well and grow together. So that's one aspect and the challenges that we face. So we are following Agile and its frameworks, so we should meet all the deadlines and increase customer conversions. So there had been a situation where I was working with this small project, and the first thing was like building process, implementing it, making sure that all team members are aligned to the process. And the first question I get is, so with this implementation, now we are an agile team. So can we like double and expedite the process? I mean, like deliveries. So those kind of expectations start building up, right? I'm not sure whether if you have faced that situations or not, but yeah. And the another expectation could be like, since we are following agile, so how about downsizing our team so that we are agile now and maybe the deliveries can be still taken care by the team member that we decide with, right? So expectations needs to be set within from the manager level, the development team, the scrum team, all the team members, all the stakeholders that is working with that particular project. Lack of patience and trust towards agility. These things really take time, really take time. So let's say training anybody, right? Giving them knowledge, transferring knowledge, guiding them, and making sure that they've actually understood. And then you're communicating the same knowledge, transferring the same knowledge, communicating with the whole team, making sure that they have understood well first before it's implemented. Then slowly they get adapted. Right? It takes time, maybe more than 2 months, 3 months. Gradually, you'll start seeing the changes. And these are something that you don't see over the night, week, or a month. And lack of patience and trust is one of the, let's say, another hurdle and a challenge that we face while you're introducing Agile in an un-Agile place. So when are we going to see the results? These all challenges are interlinked with each other. So there's another expectation like, oh, it's already been 2 months that we have implemented the process. How about these deliveries like within this week? When can we see the changes? Like I see still same number of deliveries, same lags from the team. So what can we expect now, right? So decisions should not be made in errands. So there's a pressure, like let's say in perspective, in a persona of a project manager or a product manager. So there's a pressure when these processes are online, you're working with the development team, you're working and you're collaborating with the management team as well. So the pressure there is different, like, you know, what went wrong within that process? What is happening in the team? Why are we still like, you know, like earlier before we introduced or modified any process that we are following right now was we were able to deliver 10 features maybe in a sprint or maybe 5 features in a sprint, and still we are doing the same. What's actually happening? It's no use. I don't think so we invested for this, right? So you need to have that trust, you need to have that patience for actually that team to gradually understand, adapt, and slowly flourish with agile mindset, which definitely would grow with time. Frequent switching and modifying processes with proper evaluation leads to chaos in the projects. So let's say a product manager or a project manager is with a team, introduces a process, right? And then they are working on it, maybe within like 2-3 sprints, like, hey, this is not going to work. And just because, like, you want to like try different things, you've heard about different things, you've came across different stories that's running in different teams, and you want to try that, that definitely would be that definitely would be running a big chaos in the project. When you are actually like making a process for a team, it's not for one person, it's not for like 2 people, it's for the whole team, right? Let's say you have a design team, development team, test QA team, and then the entire stakeholders. So you need to make sure that every one of these people get involved while you are actually making these processes, from requirement gathering to deliveries, and even after that, like collecting feedbacks from the customer's end. Demotivation and breakdowns. So this is one of the devastating thing that one individual needs to go through. It could be in different situations, it could be in different scenarios, it could be like in different forms, not necessarily that individual would be expressing themselves or not, but definitely would be not a nice thing in a team. When you're working in a team, it's let's say you're trying to collaborate with a product manager, being a developer. So you're trying to collaborate with a project manager or a product manager, and you're trying to convince that we need to build this process within our team. This process of development where we have like just code it and just send it out is not right. We want to change it a little bit, right? And you're telling that on, and your product manager or your project manager is focused somewhere else, like probably bringing the requirements, just polishing that, and just focusing the tight deadlines and deliveries. So this is one point where, like, these developers definitely would get tired of, like, putting their views to the leaders and just, okay, I'm in this phase right now that you just give me the task, I'll get it done and deliver it. I don't have any other inputs or other contribution that I want to put it up. So lastly, I would like to just summarize the whole. Agile is not any fixed end state nor a solution to fix any problem. It doesn't promise you any ROIs. It's a mindset, a process that we discussed, we heard in different sessions as well. It's basically a mindset that we all need to have it. And there are challenges, and where wouldn't it be, right? So, but proper knowledge, teamwork, that all it matters for any agile team to be strong and flourish. And lastly, I'd like to share this image with all the PMs. And thank you, everyone. Have a good day.